Good morning, grasshoppers. It is time to get to training. Always. Every day. Nico is playing Siddharthan. We have Andre playing Viraj. And we have a coffee, which is very important. Could not operate my phone this morning. I was so groggy. I couldn't figure out how to turn off the alarm on my phone, so therefore I ended up turning it off, and then I almost overslept the stream. Came this close to oversleeping the stream. Absolutely horrid. Maybe I still need rest. That's what spring break is all about. Logic, good morning. Good to see one of the legends of the stream up early and at it. Get it? I got it right the first go. I can't remember the last time I was white, actually. It's time for a sealer sweeper, I think. Is it time for a sealer sweeper? Let's try it. We haven't done a sealer sweeper in a while. Most of the time, no one agrees to play this variation. Positive that Logic knows what a sealer sweeper is, though. So this is not going to be much of a shakedown. Don't worry, there's more to come as we strip the opponent's king naked. Yes, we strip him naked. Yes. Whoa. Not exactly expected, but okay. I'll bite. I will bite. Interesting. My original plan for this particular piece is not working out as smoothly as I wanted it to. You'd think that if I gave myself more time. Good morning. Thank you for following. Petty Brew PK. Seems like a special St. Patrick's Day name. Doesn't it? All those mods. Got Skynet thanking her. Wait, we need a better message from Stream Elements or Skynet. You guys gotta be good. Better get on your mod game. Can I do this? I'm gonna go for it. Oh yes. Had not considered the obvious capture. That's a good move. Am I in trouble? Yes. Am I concerned? Absolutely. I think with this new time control, I should have made, this may make logic invincible, or it should. What are you having? Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here for. So many of our established regulars, I know it may not look like we have a lot of them, but this is a very, very odd time for the stream. We do a little bit better on Saturday mornings. Some of our regulars have really excelled in their game. Chess? Can imagine we almost have everything under wraps, except that we don't. We're down 3 pawns in this position. Are we down 3 pawns? No, we're not down 3 pawns. We have an optical illusion on the d6 square. What is being planned? That's crazy. Do I have to follow through on this? Darn it. And how do I follow through on it? I can't afford that or that. Yeah, yeah. Could actually be trouble. I don't want to admit it yet, but it could be trouble. Well, that's a bummer. That's a good move, sir. Uncle. All those rating points that I had a chance to get back, I had to donate again. All right. I can't recall. Oh, yes, there was a line that I was going to play against the Benoni, but I don't like it. Should I play that? Yeah, maybe I should. Let's switch gears against the Benoni for a little bit instead of trying to refute it. Good morning, Nico. His signature move. Now, there is only one move that I don't play a normal line against. Is it this one? I don't think it's this one. Mm-hmm. Or is it this one? Is it this one? Maybe it is this one. Did we already have this matchup? And now do I get the wedge or don't I? You moved your bishop. I think I have to try for the wedge. The wedge is a part of life. Probably could have achieved the wedge by playing bishop to g4 and then e takes d4. We have a different wedge going on here. All right, is the wedge worth it? We're gonna have to find out. We're on that pawn like Donkey Kong. All right. Have you tried chess coach Andres? Or I can't tell you how many others. You play the London as white. I don't understand why you'd play the London as white. That is where the problems start to begin, actually. Now you're a chess player. Let's just get this straight. You're not an openings player, you're a chess player. And this is hugely critical to your understanding. It is true that you can play. Believe it or not, you can play the London. I'm not going to tell you that you don't need to play the London. No, I play the London. I just don't play the London. So therefore, as you just saw me play a different opening, Siddhartha and Anandan, good morning. So let's change gears here. One more time for us to decide whether or not we're changing gears. Is he threatening knight to d5? I don't think so. So yeah, basically, I would suggest studying the games of Capablanca. So your goal is your opponent plays a early bishop f5. Yeah, I tell you, there are about 15 or 16 different ways to avoid you playing bishop f4 or bishop d3. Depending on one of my favorite students actually played e5, not because he wanted to play not the Stafford Gambit, drawing a blank on the name of the gambit now with d4, e5, not the England, but the really bad one with d6, ed6, and knight e7. He didn't play it with that idea. But he did. Whoa! Do I get this? Look, I get it. Actually, I don't get it. I'm losing a lot of pawns, probably. Or am I? So basically, that structure, you should study and play, let's say the Caro-Kann is black. People who like to play the Caro-Kann. Study Magnus Carlsen's games for the London, because Magnus does play the London very well. I also highly recommend an early volume of should I just sack the exchange here? Or should I remove the defender? I feel like I should either A, remove the defender, or sack the exchange, or both. Giving him a good square for his knight. That's what I don't like. Giving him a very, very, very good square for his knight. He may not have that square yet. No, he just played e5 to stop the opponent from playing bishop f4 on move 2. No, there's nothing wrong with the London. It's just that people only play the London. They don't try to play chess, and that's what you really need to do. You really need to learn how to play chess, not the London. You have to study, not play the London. You have to study chess, and study chess. Now, can I do this? Am I getting away with yet another pawn? We'll know in a minute. Depending on which way he goes. What? Dudovich. Bad break, I'm sorry. No, but the only drawback I have to anyone, and this is if you're a young player, which I get that impression that you're a young player. I'm not talking about necessarily an age, but in terms of experience, you're a young player. And you have to consider that you have to really, 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 really learn how to play chess at its finest. Learn how to play chess from the best, from the greatest. And then, like for instance here, right? Like these are some basic things to know. Basically, this knight creates a wall for all of this, so now I can just work on another outside pass pawn. This is known as Capablanca's pass pawn. Capablanca's rule, I'm sorry, the pawn that has no opposer. So we have these pawns on the G file and the H file. So you need a really good classical education, and then you can play any opening that you want. But until you get that classical education, you're stuck playing openings rather than chess. There's so many people out there recommending openings as a method toward improvement, but then you think that your pieces can only go to certain squares. If your opponent stops you from playing bishop f3, they're playing bad chess, so therefore you have to switch gears. That's why I said Capablanca. Do I have a picture of one of his books? Where's my Capablanca? Oh, it's too far away. I do not want to get up. So here, for example, a good picture of Capablanca's best endgames. These are complete games. This is a very old book, but you can find it. It is an algebraic. Capablanca's best chess endings. And interestingly enough, this is the part of the game that you could easily be learning. So I would suggest playing through each of these games twice. Now, you don't have to actually use a real board if you don't want to, although it's highly recommended that you use a regular board. You can use a study in Lichess. Create a study in Lichess, and I put some of them into our World Championship Well, thank you. No, it's just the normal info that traders have been using for decades, if not centuries. Bobby Fischer did not study openings. He did like to play the Najdorf. He found his niche later, but he'd already studied 100 games of every world champion before he even began. How am I playing another person like this? Hold on here. In my socials, I had this debate the other day on with the Chessable CFO, the chief operating officer of Chessable, or the chief executive officer. We're good friends, but basically, I asked him to clarify something for me, and he did, basically. But he also wanted to know, what order should you choose the world champions in? And I said that you could study the world champions in a chronological order or an evolution order. So you could do them as in Garry Kasparov's My Great Predecessor series. Now, of course, all of these books are available on Chessable. Do I want to take with the rook, or do I want to take with the knight? I can't make up my mind. I'm going to take with the queen, with the rook, just because I can. Then I'm going to bother him. Yeah, basically, if you learn how to play chess at the highest of levels, and it doesn't take much, honestly, then you can play any opening. And that's really what you want to do. You want to have fun playing chess. That means, and right now I've got way too weak dark squares, right? You can already see that my dark squares are weak. I don't mind if he gives up his bishop for my knight, because then I'm going to have an open g-file. Every single move has pluses and minuses. Every single move has an idea behind it that needs to be followed through on. Now my opponent's knight on b1 is having such a joyous time. It really is having a joyous good time. Is he really going to play e4? I don't think so. He could play e4 if I put my bishop on d6, right? So I can't put my bishop on d6. Now, believe it or not, I've got a reverse London structure here, except that it is an older system called the Coley. The Coley, Zukertort, London systems are all very similar. Let's throw the Stonewall in there too. The Coley, Zukertort, Stonewall, Tory, London, Zukertort, Stonewall systems are all very similar. The only drawback is that I really did want to play I really did want to play e5 for black. I guess I'm going to get it. Unless he stops me now. He just pushed me to a square where I can now play the move that I want to play. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I don't do that too often. But I do have to exact my revenge on logic here. Just when my rating's been over 2,200 for so long that I forgot what it was like to screw up. Literally forgot what it was like to screw up and give up the rating points. I literally screwed up a few times in a row. So silly of me, yeah? All right, moment of truth. I'm not sure what my opponent attempted to achieve with his weakened white squares, but I'll take it. We will be fighting for the white squares, Bobby. Interesting, and then he gives up on those too. He's going to take it either way. It doesn't matter what I do. He is going to just take it. Yeah, I have a very lame night for a moment. But I'm basically trying to get my pieces to the center. Now, normally, I just want you to notice how the pieces attempt to coordinate. That's all you have to do. That looks like a free pawn. It really does. It looks like a free pawn on c4. And now, for something completely inane and or ridiculous, I have to take with my queen. But what does it all mean? I have to take with the queen. Got a pawn, folks. An extra pawn, but it's 5 versus 4 on the same side of the board. 5 pawns versus 4 on the king side. And he's given up his white squared bishop. How pleasant is that? He allows me to play queen to d3. I may also enjoy life. We're enjoying life. There's no doubt about it. Queen to g4. Are you going into complete and utter? You know what? I'll trade you advantages. How about that? Let's make a deal. You can have the e4 pawn. And for an additional trade of queens, no worries. We're into a trade of queens. Now, I do play the London. I also have Gadakomsky as a very good friend. Did I ever beat him? No. I came close. No, not really. No. I've beaten and played a lot of Grandmasters in my day. Gadakomsky has watched me play a lot of Grandmasters. One time after he beat me, he said to me, "John, you play so much better than this. Why were you so passive?" And I was like, I just did not know what to do. I honestly did not know what to do. So I changed my opening strategy against him. I played something not unlike the London, believe it or not. Now we have an extra exchange, and I do not mind exchanging, believe it or not. It's going to require a little bit of a song and dance on my part. Notice that the knight is 3 squares away diagonally. This is diagonal opposition. Logic also knows that I'm anti-draw, so there was no way of him catching first, so the game did not matter. Did I actually play 3 games today? I don't normally play 3 games. Thank you for the follow, K2. You're a big guy, K2. Unless you have another Indian name, like a friend of mine was D2, his name was Aditya. That could be funny. Let's go through some of our games that we just played. This is another thing that you should also do on a regular basis. Go through your games. Well, K2 is the tallest, is the highest point mountain on Earth, right? I believe it's in the Himalayas. Oh, what did I get? It's in Pakistan, actually. 8,611 meters above sea level. Crazy. Now this information. What? Mount Everest is the first? You're right, it's the second highest after Mount Everest. I thought for a period of time that it was taller. You're absolutely correct, Nico. But you're still a big guy, K2. When I saw your name, that's exactly where I went. I'm like, wow. Someone in our stream that we can look up to. So, needless to say, if I click on this and we can download my games, or we can download all games. So the drawback to downloading my games in this particular fashion is that I don't get annotated games. So let's go about looking at our games from an annotated perspective, all right? Oops. I have to open it a different way. If I want to open it in the same window without opening a new browser in the arena, I just go over here and click on the game score. So in this particular position, there are a variety of moves that can be played. Bishop d3, h3, knight f3 is the modern variation. It's probably the largest growing solution to the Benoni. But the unfortunate drawback to it is that it doesn't make a difference if you play knight c3 or knight f3. So logic is obviously prepared here. Knight fd7. Now a4 is obviously the best move. Bishop d3. And my opponent loses time no matter what he does here. Chances are bishop to d3 is easily the best move based on a survey of the top grandmasters. However, this is a much more reliable survey of the top grandmasters, and I like the fact that with a4 you can, only 22% of black participants have won. So you can also check your own games in the Elite Chess database, or you can the Elite Chess users database, or you can check your own games. So I have had this position as white 10 times, and I've played knight f3 4 times, not scoring so well. And I've played a4 most of the time, 6 times, with a 3-3 result. And the other day against it feels like the other day against Arsenal fan Richie. I think I played knight f3 against Arsenal fan Richie most recently. Yes. No. Yes. No. I think he avoided this, actually. Arsenal fan Richie may or might not have played the Benoni. In any event, there's so much fun to be had in these lines. Black is not only giving up space, but he's giving up massive amounts of time. From now on, I'm going to play bishop d3 for anybody who's preparing for me. And knight a6, I always thought was a better move to gain time on this bishop. Knight a6, knight c7, followed by a6 and b5, because you also get room for rook to b8. I know there are other drawbacks here, but the a6 straight away, obvious. Bishop d3, b5, and I really should play king h1. I shouldn't go nuts with e5. I really threw away this game by sacking the pawn. I'm not prepared. I need to develop my stuff. I want a second opinion on a3. a3 is so wimpy to me, I don't really want to play it. But black does win less. Queen e1 looks like my vote. Black is just better, but white does have a good reputation here. Guess it's because rook e8 pinpoints that weakness. But b4, huh? Now we have a choice. Knight d1, knight e3, knight c4 looks like the obvious way to go. We have a square waiting for us on c4. How bad is it, right? So I don't know if Patty is still here, but Eric Rosen is one of my favorite streamers. But I disagree with what he recommends a little bit. I do agree with having fun in chess, but having fun in chess also means making certain that everybody's aware that they have to study all of chess. They can't just study a gambit or a strange opening. Yeah, Eric Rosen has studied all of the facets of chess to become as good as he is. And to not recommend doing the same thing, to not get a classical education, is a little bit of educational malpractice on my part if I were to do that. You came to me for advice on how to become a better player. I would give you a classical education advice. I have only one grandmaster, of course, because that's the student who decided to work the hardest with the information that I gave him. But I have a number of other titled players and people who sought advice from me. And I've trained for the World Youth Championships, the World Senior Championships, the U.S. Championship, and all sorts of scholastic events like the World Junior, U.S. Women's Championship as well. I forgot about that. Training players of all levels to try to get the most out of their game. Can't find my mouse. Am I frozen? I don't know if I'm frozen, but I can't find my mouse. As though I want to do something with it. Up, 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 and down. Good news is that I have a touch screen, so it's not a big deal. I shouldn't be using a wireless mouse online anyway. It's a faux pas. I used to have a physical mouse tucked into it as well as this mouse. found it. Turning it off and on did work. I really wanted to clip that sequence before. Did we lose our stream? Never mind. For a moment there, I thought we lost the stream as the chat had cleared in the background. And gifted subs from both from Pegasus and Nicodemonius. That's crazy. These guys are like on the monthly trail with gifted subs. I'm very appreciative. So continuing our way through here, I would be very comfortable with this position as white. Your advantages are tangible at best. Uh-oh, Lichess will start again in 9 minutes. I guess that gives us no time. So if you did want to download this game, by the way, I'd recommend that you download the game into a study. And this one I'm going to do 1d4 as what white rep 1d4. Where's my white rep 1d4? That one's... No, it's the wrong one. Can I put it in the white rep 1d4? Did that work? Yes. Hitting the back button helped. And then you can download this later. Again, studying my own games as black. That one did not quite count, but we can actually look at it this way. If you want to download an individual game for use in ChessBase, it can be done as simply as this. Opening up the game, put black in both of those games, huh? Both of them played b4? That's crazy. Like having a vacation. If it wasn't for b4 and the London, I would have no points at all. In any event, yeah, I don't need to download those anymore. Wow, we're at an even 2,200. I am going to be growing the dojo this morning with simuls and fun. And that is the key ingredient. It's very strange that need these to appear in a historical realm. Sorry, well, I get some of these to appear a little bit more often. I need these in my regular chat to a certain extent. Let's see if I open this up. Then we need to know where to go. I will send the 4 dedicated viewers to one of the best studiers in the business. The leader of the legends, I believe. Let's just check it out. Follow Zalakai. Say hello to Chris for me, or Bianca. Just looking to see if Bianca's on. Dave's Dime. Good to see you streaming, Dave's Dime. Chexy. Oh, do obey. No, I'm going to leave you with my favorite streamer because we're not going to have lead chess in a few moments. If we're not going to have lead chess in a few moments for a second or two, then we might as well go to the best studier in the business. Please follow me on my socials. I need to upload one of those belts. I do need to upload one of those belts as one of my own. I need a high emote, right? Don't I need a hi there emote? Unfortunately, I overused the one that I do have. In any event. Cheers, everyone. Have a great day. Ciao.